Will the market go up or down? Should you lock in or float? Find out this and more with Master of the Markets, hosted by Barry Habib of MBS Highway. Brought to you by Planet Home Lending. Secured by private equity, Planet Home Lending might just be the largest wholesale lender you've never heard of. Our competitive pricing opens the door, but we know it's our knowledgeable and accessible account executives who will make Planet Home Lending your first and last look on every loan.
Welcome to Master of the Markets. I'm Barry Habib at MBS Highway. This is created exclusively for Mortgage News Network and brought to you by our friends at Planet Home Lending, where their wholesale rates are out of this world. Hey, we had some action last week. A surprise jobs report was a real stinker. Expecting about 185,000 jobs to be created, only 138, but then 66,000 revisions for the past 2 months to the downside. What's going on here? We got ADP's jobs number, and that was so strong, over 250,000. So we thought this could be a blockbuster number. But to everyone's surprise, it came in extremely weak. Now, the unemployment rate fell from already low rate of 4.4 to 4.3%. This is extraordinarily low unemployment rate. Why? There were more people leaving the labor force than there were jobs being created. So because more people left the labor force, you actually shrunk the pool of workers. So the people that were employed actually represented a greater number of the whole pool, and therefore the people who were unemployed represented a smaller number. So that's how you got the unemployment rate down, all for the wrong reasons. People leaving the labor force, not a good thing. So when you take a look at what the market's reaction to this was, well, of course, initially bond prices did very well. 10-year Treasury hit exactly on our target of 218, right smack on it. So now, where do we go from here? Well, it's interesting because does the Fed now rethink its position to hike rates on June 14th? I think the Fed's hand is pressed. I think they've got to go ahead and hike rates, especially with an unemployment rate that's that low, because the thought process might be we could get some wage pressure inflation. Now, what does this spell for the big picture? You know, you've got a very expensive stock market that has been rallying like crazy. You've got interest rates at very low levels telling us the bond market doesn't believe the strength in the economy when you take a look at the 10-year Treasury. And then you've got now the Fed's going to have to be actively hiking rates, and there's pressure on the Fed to reduce its balance sheet. Does this kind of send the message or have a recipe for there could be a recession down the road? Well, if you look at the spread between the 2-year Treasury and the 10-year Treasury, it is narrowed to its lowest level in a very long time. And if that ever goes inverted, it's a pretty good, reliable indicator that you can see a recession in the near future. So just some interesting circumstances. Now, what does that mean for us? Historically speaking, real estate does very well in these situations and interest rates decline. So if there is going to be economic turbulence and a recession, you happen to be in the right business. And speaking about housing, we did get some housing data last week that I thought was really important. The data that came out showed very good strength in traffic, but sales lagged in existing homes. Now, is that a bad thing? The media wants to always put a negative spin on it, but it's simply because of a lack of inventory. Look, you're experiencing this right now. The lack of sales is not a function of demand. It is not a function of affordability. Look, team, I look at affordability throughout the entire country. As you know, if you already have MBS Highway, and you should, you can look at affordability in every MSA in every part of the country, and you could also show this to your clients, show this to your real estate agents. Really important stuff. I'm telling you, affordability is really good because income is rising at a level that keeps up with the move higher in appreciation. They don't have to match percentage-wise because income is several multiples of what the monthly payment is. So therefore, because the monthly payment might rise due to home prices appreciating, the percentage of that rise doesn't have to be matched by the percentage of your income. It's a much smaller percentage because the monthly income is a much greater number than the monthly principal and interest payment. When you take a look at overall housing, it looks like it will continue to be strong going forward. That's a quiet news week, so a lot of the technical indicators are going to really take hold. I want you to watch really close on that 218 on the 10-year Treasury because we could kind of stay near that level, but if the market doesn't, if the 10-year Treasury is not able to convincingly break that, we could see interest rates drift higher. But because we were at this important threshold, I'll tell you something, we break convincingly below 218, you can see a 2% 10-year Treasury, and that could really spur a lot of refinance activity. So just when you thought it was all over, we could be taking a look at some good times for interest rates. It's right now on that threshold, could kind of go either way. So we'll have to watch this very carefully. If you haven't had a chance, hey, take us up on a free trial to MBS Highway. Or you know what? How much does it cost you not to have it? I mean, really, what do you earn per transaction? Thousands of dollars? You can't afford a small bit of that from MBS Highway to be a better source to your real estate agents, to your customers, and to gain more business? It's just crazy. Just do it. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Feel the difference of what a decentralized operation makes. With account executives in your backyard and in your office, not hidden in a call center, we know what you and your borrower desires based on your market, and will be in your office helping you through every step of the way. Those are just a few of the differences our clients see every day with Planet Home Lending Wholesale.
This is Mortgage News Network.